It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another live stream Q&A. This is going to be Q&A number 138. As always, we're going to kick things off with the first few questions that are on while we're waiting for more people to show up here. But the majority of the questions are going to be focused towards the recent episode that just aired and the next episode that's going to be coming up for The Walking Dead, Season 9 episode 10 and 11. 10 was called Omega and 11 is called Bounty. So, Noah Jinx 75, hi Ash, hi, how are you? Glad you could join us, Noah. Noah Jinx 75, how's your Friday been going? Mine's going great. Mine is going great, man. I think I have a cold, but my Friday is still going pretty well. And can't wait for this Sunday for the next episode. Noah Jinx 75, did you notice on the Walking Dead wiki, Ryan Hurst was removed from the credits in 9/11, probably to keep Beta a surprise. I did notice that, honestly, because the very first time we checked it, it was there, right? I think. And then we kind of speculated and, thought, how is he going to appear in the episode? And I said, even at that time, that I think he's going to show up just in the last few minutes. Just like, actually not like Alpha, because it was different with Alpha because we got a flashback. But if we didn't get an Alpha flashback in the previous episode and she just showed up at the end, it would have been like, I think that's going to be how Beta is going to be introduced. But now going back to it, in the wiki, his name is not there. So I was thinking I was, seeing things and that his name was never on there. That's why I kind of second guessed myself. But now that you bring it up, I think they might have removed it, to be honest. And yeah, I think you're right. They're probably doing it to keep him a surprise. Because not a lot of people are going to check the wiki, right? It's just not going to happen. So the majority of people are not going to know that he's going to be coming up, right? There's going to be maybe a handful of people that have seen, the wiki before they removed it. You know what I mean? Noah Jinx 75 Q&A, where is Beta while Alpha is at Hilltop? Did Alpha send him somewhere else on a separate mission, or is he lurking in the woods? I think most likely he's lurking in the woods with other Whisperers, because think about it, they are smart. They're going to have a plan B. What if the group doesn't care about their, hostages? What if the survivors, what if, from the Whisperers' perspective, what they're thinking about is, what if they're as savage as we are? They don't care about their hostages. Then they're just going to blow us to pieces and, kill us. They have enough firepower, as we can see. We've been spying on them. So it's the smartest thing to have people in the woods lurking around for a plan B, in case the survivors don't care about their hostages and just want to end everyone's life that's there. You know what I mean? So I think it's probably the smartest thing for the Whisperers to be doing that, to have Beta and some other Whisperers in the back, in the woods, lurking around. Whether we will see that or not, that's a different question. But I think if they show us otherwise, I'm going to, or until they show us otherwise, I'm going to think that that's the case, that they're probably still around there and they're just watching the exchange or waiting for the exchange and waiting to jump in if anything goes wrong. Some people, Nova Jinx 75, some people have a theory that Beta is at the place that the Kingdom is going to, and that would not make any sense, because why would he be there instead of being in the woods to help Alpha? Yeah, I think that could work if they've been doing the same thing to Kingdom that they've been doing to Hilltop. You know what I mean? Just spying on them. Maybe, actually, now that I think of it, if the Kingdomers didn't cross their borders, why would they care? They don't know the Kingdom is connected to Hilltop, so why would they care? So from that point, it probably doesn't make sense for the kingdom to find that particular group of whisperers that, or a particular group. Wait, it makes sense for some whisperers to be there. That's what I'm trying to say. But I don't think it makes sense for them to come across the group of whisperers that have orders from Beta. Because I feel like, just like you, Beta would probably stick around with Alpha. Especially given that this is a pretty important exchange, you know? It's Lydia. They are a new group. They have a lot of firepower. They don't know what they're dealing with. Just like the Whisperers. Just like the survivors don't know what the Whisperers are, you know, dealing with. The Whisperers don't know what they're dealing with. So it's like a similar kind of perspective for both. So I think it makes the most sense for Beta or for Alpha to want Beta to stick around. Nova Jinx 75. Maybe Alpha told Beta and his group of Whisperers to maybe form a herd of walkers that are ready to attack just in case conflict breaks out. Absolutely. I think that makes the most sense. It's if we think about it, the Whisperers are smart. They're savage, but they're smart. Alpha is very smart. And I think the first thing Alpha would think about is to have reinforcement. And I don't think she would want to trust anyone other than Beta, because of course Beta is her second in command, her right-hand man in a way. So I think it makes the most sense for that to be the case. For Alpha to have ordered Beta and the other Whisperers to be lurking in the woods just in case the exchange goes bad. Faith Cannon 7, Beta, Scarf Vest, and Trenchcoat reminded me of a Jack the Ripper vibe. He kind of looks like he's from the 1900s, mixed with some modern clothes. Yeah, the scarf, now that you bring it up, actually I thought that was Negan's scarf when I first saw it. Didn't really make sense at that point, but I was just piecing things together, looking too much into things, or looking into things that weren't really there. You know what I mean? So I thought it was Negan's. It's probably not. It doesn't make sense. But going back to your question, yeah, he does look like a serial killer. That's for sure. Anna Hume. Hi, Ash and everyone just joining. XX. Hi, Anna. Glad you could join us. Anna Hume again. From the comics, they seem to use herds as their weapon of choice. Yeah, the Whisperers in the comic book, they don't necessarily engage until they have to. Like, not engage like kill a small group of people, but engage with big communities like Hilltop until they absolutely have to. And in this case, they absolutely had to because Lydia's hostage, right? So yeah, they, as their first weapon of choice, it's definitely herd of walkers. But other than that, they use their knives, and then third option for them is guns, if they have any. I don't know if any of them have any guns, but that's going to be the third tier of their choices, you know, in terms of weapons of choice during a conflict or during any type of fight. Nova Jinx 75. Even if Beta were to, let me just remove my wire here. It's in the middle of the question. Nova Jinx 75. Even if Beta was to be at the place Kingdom is going to, I don't think he would attack them because they have bows and arrows, and they clearly would notice that he isn't a walker because of his mask. That's another good point. I see why people think that, because certain shots of Beta, he's in a abandoned building, and then with Kingdomers are going to an abandoned building to scavenge the place and to, you know, do a supply run, and people are putting that together and thinking that that's the same place. It could be, but it's unlikely. I think it makes more sense for Beta to be where Daryl is probably going to end up when he's going after Henry. And you bring up another good point. Because of his mask, he's not really fooling anyone. Beta specifically. Alpha with the mask, that's a different question. But Beta with the mask, he's not fooling anyone. So I don't see that being any type of camouflage whatsoever. Because it's obvious that it's a human being, because it's a half a mask. And he's huge, so he stands out. It's not like it's a small dude that can blend in. You know what I mean? Nova Jinx 75 Q&A. Do you think we'll see or we'll hear Beta talk this season? And if we do, Will it only be him responding to Alpha's orders like yes, Alpha, or something along those lines? No, I think we're going to see Beta talk. Maybe not as much as Alpha or the others, but he's definitely going to talk. Specifically when he is faced with Daryl, they might have a conversation then, or if he comes across Negan, or if they do Negan's story the same way they did in the comic book. But I don't think they'll have Ryan Hurst not say anything this entire season, or any time that he's on screen. I think he's going to say stuff, but it's not going to be as much as others, for sure. Anahume, but maybe it was Negan's. Doesn't he be seen in promos, photos with knives like Daryl's? Maybe he collects things from people he fights, like trophies. That's a good point. That's a great point. But the thing is, Negan doesn't have the scarf. That's the thing. He doesn't have the scarf. So it doesn't make sense for him to collect the scarf as a trophy when fighting Negan, because Negan doesn't have the scarf. He could have found it, for sure, but I think that's a little bit of a stretch, unless they actually show it to us, you know what I mean? But I do like what you're saying, that he collects things as trophies. That's a great point, because we do know that Daryl has these two huge knives, and in the comics, these two huge knives are actually Beta's signature weapons. So at some point, most likely, Beta's gonna beat Daryl's ass first, and then take those knives for himself. And we could kind of reflect on what you're saying and look at it that way, that he's collecting it as trophies, and he's collecting things after he fights people as trophies. King Ken 214, are you still doing suggestion videos? Not during the on-season, during the off-season. For Walking Dead, for Fear the Walking Dead, yeah, I will be. Like when Fear starts, because I'm not doing a lot of Fear videos, I will be doing suggestion videos. So that's actually another great opportunity. If you want me to talk about something for Fear, you can suggest it. Because otherwise, I'm probably not going to do a lot of Fear videos. I don't know if I'm going to do reactions. I'm kind of going back and forth. But I'm definitely not doing any reviews or predictions. The one thing I know I will definitely do is the breakdowns, the promo breakdowns, the trailer breakdowns. That is not going anywhere. I'll do those. But other than that, the only other thing for Fear that I'm contemplating whether I'm going to do or not is the reactions. But other than that, if there's a video you want me to do during the on-season for Fear the Walking Dead, definitely suggest it when Fear is on, because then I'll definitely do them. But just to go back to your question, suggestion videos are not on when we have Walking Dead on. King Ken 214, you know what a Wolfpack Omega is? You know what a Wolfpack Omega is? The weakest one. I didn't know that. Wolfpack Omega. Yeah, if you're reflecting on the title of the previous episode, I think it's Alpha. It's related to Alpha because she started being portrayed as an Omega, and it came full circle at the end of the episode when we realized that she wasn't an Omega and that she became Alpha. And you know, the episode ends with I am Alpha, right? So it kind of goes full circle if you look at it that way. And yeah, you're saying PS the name of 910. Yeah, I think it's more to do with Alpha being an Omega and turning into an Alpha. Anahume, sorry, Beta wearing Negan's scarf. Wait, did I not answer that? Let me see. Yeah, in promo photos, we do see him with the scarves. For sure, I did notice that, but I don't know whether it's Negan's. Like, I don't know. They would have to explain it. If it is, they're gonna have to explain how he got it. Faith Cannon 7, red scarf Beta, he is too big to be Negan's. That's another good point. I mean, don't scarves have, what do you call it? Specific sizes? Like, I don't think there's a lot of sizes for scarves. I could be wrong, but that's a good point as well. Nova Jinx 75. Another theory is that Beta will be at that building. Notice the kingdom. Wait, be at that building. Notice the kingdom, but his back will only be seen, and the kingdomers will notice what seems to be a very large walker. Yeah, if if Beta's gonna be there, then that's probably how they're gonna do it. But I just think it makes more sense for Beta to be at the hilltop helping Alpha and the Whisperers when they're doing the exchange. And we don't know the timeline. That kingdom, that thing with the kingdom could happen after. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been a couple hours, maybe a couple days after the event of the exchange with the hilltop. If that's the case, then they could definitely make it work. They could have Beta be, or explain that Beta maybe was there as well, or maybe mention his name there or something, and also have him show up wherever the kingdomers are going to. That could also make sense. NovaTink75, kind of a off topic, but Yumiko actor pretty dumb in 910 with her suggestion they go out at night, and once they do, she's the first one to call off the search. Like, what the fuck? Yumiko. Yeah, that was the only thing I had a problem with in the last episode. That was just for plot, you know? Characters acting dumb just to move the story forward. That's what I have hated about Walking Dead in the past few seasons, and I was glad that they weren't doing that in season 9, but you know, we got this one. I just hope we don't see more. I just hope this is the only one, and I'm okay with it being Yumiko because she's a pretty small character. But you know, that's the only one of the only things that really annoyed me in the last episode. Anahum, are you looking forward to Fear now that Dwight is joining? I'm interested, but I don't have high hopes, because every time I had high hopes for Fear, I was let down. So I don't have high hopes, but it's interesting. It's an interesting decision. I don't agree with the decision, but it's an interesting decision to take Dwight to Fear the Walking Dead. Also, do you think he moved to Fear to do emotional seasons, since the actor was actually on set at The Walking Dead when the stuntman died? I don't think I know what you're talking about. I don't think it's related to that. I think it's on AMC still, Fear the Walking Dead. So it can't be because of, you know, him being sued or legal issues. It can't be that because he's going to Fear. It's on AMC. It can't be because of emotional things like you're saying, because it's still Fear the Walking Dead. It's still The Walking Dead, you know? I'm sure there's going to be similar people involved in both. So I don't necessarily believe that that's the case. Anahim, yes, you did answer. I wasn't sure if I phrased it correctly when I wrote the scarf question. I'm being too slow writing. Apologies. No worries, no problem. Yeah, I just... Sometimes when I see the questions, you posted it like a couple minutes before. Like, it's late when I see it. So that could explain as well. So don't worry about it. NovaJink75, Q&A with us learning that Alpha abuses Lydia. Does she do this to any other member of her group? Does she do it to Beta? That would be interesting to know. She could do it to Beta, but I don't think it makes sense. It'll be... What's the word I'm looking for? It'll be comical. It'll be hilarious in a way, like funny. Because Beta's huge. I don't think we'll see Alpha whooping Beta's ass. You know what I mean? So I don't think they'll do that. We will see Beta respecting Alpha, that's for sure, but I don't think we're going to see that other aspect of it where, you know, Lydia or Alpha's abusive towards Beta. I don't think we're going to see that. Faith Cannon 7, I believe when Beta meets Daryl, won't be in either Sanctuary or Hilltop. These are abandoned areas at the Whisper territory. We seen a pink house when Daryl, Michonne, and company left the cemetery. It could be just a random place. I, for a long time, thought it was the Sanctuary, but at this point, I don't know. It's probably not the Sanctuary. But it could be anywhere. It could be any abandoned building. You're right about that. It's not Hilltop, that's for sure. NovaJink75, if what you said about Beta running into Kingdom after the exchange at Hilltop, maybe Alpha sent him to check it out because Lydia knows about Kingdom. Absolutely. You know, that's a great point. You know, take what I said and what you said, put it together, and we have a prediction. That's a great point. I didn't really think of that other part of it, but you're absolutely right about that. Noah Jake 75. 99 confirmed that it is the last time we'll see the sanctuary. Was it confirmed? That's interesting. I mean, we knew it, kind of, but it's interesting that they confirmed. Not that it's anything big, but just in general. That's interesting that they would reveal something like that. Or confirm something like that. Maybe if they did it at the end of the season, I could see it, but now it's kind of weird that they're confirming it. Anna Hume, did you wonder why Judith was walking about on her own when she suddenly ran across Negan on her own? I find Judith acting like an adult in a child's body maddening. That was another thing that annoyed me a little bit in the last episode. Was it last episode? No, not last episode, the previous episode. That was one thing that annoyed me. Who's watching Judith? You know what I mean? But yeah. I mean, that, because of the exchange we got between Judith and Negan, I didn't mind because that was an interesting conversation. But yeah, you're right. That's doesn't really make sense unless they explain it in a clever way. Faith Canon 7, episode 12 has to be a Whisper episode for the most part because they are at the group, with true nature in the focus, which 12, episode 12. It could be Whisper focused episode for sure. Novacink 75. Also, maybe Lydia tried to lie to Alpha about her not knowing anything, but then Alpha knows she's lying, and then Lydia spills the beans about where Kingdom is. That could be another part of it, because at this point we feel like Lydia broke. You know what I mean? So you're right. It's kind of like it's on the line whether she's gonna, go this way or that way. Reveal that where Kingdom is, or not, and be loyal to the Hilltoppers. So it could go either way. And if either way it goes, you're right about that. They could have Alpha knowing about Kingdom regardless, because either Lydia tells her, or she is maybe physically and mentally tortured until she does. Anna Hume, The Walking Dead are very poor at writing kids. Lizzie, Mika, and Carol's daughters were the exceptions and written far better. Yeah, absolutely. Another one that was written, or another group that was written bad, two groups. One is the group of kids at Alexandria when they first got there. Ron was one of them. The other is the group of kids at Hilltop that, were talking to Henry and they got him drunk, or almost got him drunk. These two groups as well, they're just not really written that well. Anna Hume, I just read that. Novacink 75. Q&A, did you hear the recent news about Chandler Riggs? He admitted that he had flaws in his acting when the most recent seasons 5, 6, 7, and a little bit of season 8 up to Carl's death. I didn't hear that. It's true to an extent, but I didn't hear it. Novacink 75. I figured Alpha would know Lydia is lying because Alpha is their mother, and mothers always know when kids are lying. Yeah, and the other thing, Lydia is not really good at playing a role. We see that, right? Because Daryl knows right away that she's lying. And Alpha's smart enough to know that. So what you said, definitely, but also in general, Lydia is not really good at playing a role, and Alpha is very smart. Faith Cannon 7, I may get tomatoes thrown at me, but even though Henry's actor is more of a new character, he's a good actor and people give him a bad rep because he's not Carl. That's true to an extent, but he still makes dumb decisions. And that's what annoys us about the actor, about the character, not the actor. The actor is doing good, but the actor, or the character, maybe it'll change in the future. Maybe we'll see a more wise side of Henry in the future. But right now, he's not doing anything to help the situation with the decisions he's making. Not the actor, the character. Just check something here real quick while we have some more questions being put on the chat. Okay, should be good. NovaJink75. At Faith Cannon, yes, I think Matt Lintz is capturing the role of an older Henry very well. The naive but good-hearted nature of Henry is being played very well by Matt Lintz. Yeah, that's a good point. At NovaJink75, I think Henry's acting is very good, or rather, the actor is doing well. I think the character may be sacrificed instead of Ezekiel. I would say that would be a waste, because they're replacing Henry or Carl and making Henry be the replacement. So it doesn't make sense for the story and what they've been building up to give that to Henry instead of Ezekiel. So I am against that. Not only do I think that it's probably not going to happen, but also I disagree with it. And I'm against it if they do end up doing it. NovaJink75, the TV show version of Carl was sort of all over the place. Comic Carl was very savage, but was also very naive, which was not seen in the TV Carl. Yeah, the TV version of Carl and the comic version of Carl were definitely a little different. Subtle differences, but important differences. And I don't think they captured comic Carl's characteristic very well in the TV show. Alright, we're 31 minutes in, so we'll go for maybe another few minutes of questions, and that'll be the end of the stream. NovaJink75 Q&A, how do you think Kaylee Fleming and Matt Lintz are doing with their characters who are seeking big chunks of Comic Carl's story? Kaylee Fleming. Oh, I think that's the actor for Judith. How do you think I think Judith, in terms of Carl's Carl's comic story arc, I think Judith is taking on that on Carl's comic storyline when it comes to Negan, specifically. On the other hand, Henry is taking on that story when it comes to the Whispers and Alpha, or Lydia, I mean. And then Daryl is taking Carl's comic story in a way where he might actually, be infiltrating the camp of the Whisperers and understanding a little bit more about what they are and who they are as a group. So I think it's going to be split between these three characters this way. Faith Cannon 7, when people die, what will the Whisperers do to their bodies? Probably skin them. I mean, as weird as that is, that's probably what they do. Anahum, you're right. I think it's a waste, but crazily, I think they will. Not deny Michonne is leaving. They won't want to lose Ezekiel. I think they're having to play the hand they're given. Yeah, I mean, don't get me started with the Michonne thing, because feels like everyone's leaving. Michonne, Rick, Maggie, Jesus. You know, it feels like everyone's leaving. So, in a way, I could see why they wouldn't want to kill some of the big characters at the end of the season because of the people that have already left. But another part of me says, don't sacrifice the story for, you know, keeping it less risky. Because I feel like it's risky both ways. You know what I mean? If you don't do that scene justice, you're gonna see the consequences. They're gonna say that it was a underwhelming way to do that scene in the comics, and that it didn't feel the same. It didn't have the same impact. So I think, although I do see why they wouldn't want to kill the big characters in that scene, at the same time, I feel like not doing it has more bad than good. Anna Hume, I think Michonne will take RJ and leave Judith, assuming she something she isn't killed off. Michonne might take RJ. That's definitely true. I don't think Judith is gonna leave. So Judith is gonna stay, but they're gonna have to explain why Judith stays, you know? And it's gotta be something that makes sense. It can't be some BS. It needs to be something that makes sense. But I don't think Michonne is dying. If that's the question, I don't think Michonne is dying. He's probably just going to transfer into the movie with Rick. Noah Jink 75. Also, if Carl was alive at this point in the time, he would be 25, and I don't think Lydia's story would have worked with him, because he would be 25 and Lydia 17. A little creepy if you ask me. Yeah, that's another point of it. That's another part of it as well. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. That's another part of it. Noah Jink 75. I hope they at least reveal decapitated bodies of the people killed by Alpha. I think we will see that for sure. Noah Jink 75. Oh, Ash, did you see my comment about Oceanside making a return in 9:15 via the Walking Dead wiki? Yeah, I did see that. I'm actually doing another video. I was gonna do it today, but I just didn't have time. I might do it tomorrow. I might do it, next week. But I will be going back to some of the synopsis and some of the things that have been released on the wiki for Walking Dead and talking about them. The Oceanside coming back is one thing, one part of it. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm planning on doing it. The video's in the works. I already have everything set up in terms of what I want to talk about. Faith Cannon 7. Maggie is clued in on material for her return in season 10. We don't know if Maggie's going to come back. The actor has not yet, Lauren Cohan, the actor, has not yet signed the contract for season 10 forward. She hasn't signed anything. So we don't know for sure if Maggie's even going to come back. Anna Hume, do you think there is any chance the show will finish due to ratings and continue with offshoots, example Negan's story? I think no matter how low the ratings go, it's still going to keep going. The quality may be bad, but it's still going to keep going until they reach a point where it's not worth it anymore. At this point, I still think they find that it's worth, putting out the Walking Dead TV show. So ratings and profit would have to go down a lot for them to actually think about canceling it. Noah Jink 75. Something else I don't see is a 25-year-old Carl acting very naive as a teenage Henry. Having a teenage Henry going after Lydia makes more sense than a 25-year-old Carl. Yeah, that's definitely true. And that's not really their fault. They couldn't have done anything about it. What they should have done is casted a younger Carl to begin and said that he's older. So that way the timeline matches when he actually gets old. You know what I mean? He ages gracefully with the TV show. But they didn't do that, which means that they couldn't control how old Carl was in certain situations or certain storylines. Noah Jink 75 Q&A. Do you think Henry will run into Beta in 9/11, assuming he goes after Lydia in that episode, or will it happen in 9/12? I'm thinking it's probably at the end of this episode. I think. I could be completely wrong, but my prediction is at the end of this episode. Anna Hume, story for bad spelling. Yes, I did say assuming Michonne leaves and isn't killed off. Will she leave the kids? Yes, she will probably leave Judith, not RJ. And why I say that, why I say Judith is going to stay, is because she's a legacy character. They're not going to take a legacy character and just throw her into the movie. Then there's nothing left for the TV show, in a way, as far as Rick's legacy goes. So that's why Michonne is probably going to take RJ, but not Judith. I said I was going to end the stream like 10 minutes ago, but we'll go for 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, and that'll be the end of the stream. Noah Jake 75. A lot of people shit on Henry for being naive, and rightly so, but he has a big heart, and I like that his heart is in the right place, which is why I don't hate him. I don't hate Henry. I just think he makes dumb decisions. That's the only thing. Anna Hume, unfortunately, Chandler Rex is pretty tall. If he had been a shorter actor, he may have been able to stay. That's a good point. That's a good point. Faith Cannon 7, all 4 communities are coming to the fair. The Whisperers blending in has to be done with intelligence. They need to be new to the communities as fake people and then go to the fair. I don't think that would work. Because I'm sure the communities go through a lot of screening to invite people in. And so because of that, I don't think it makes... Or it's more risky for the Whisperers to do that. It's less risky for them to just go to the fair and say, I'm from this community. Who's gonna know? You know what I mean? The communities are so big at this point, all of them, that I'm sure not everyone knows everyone else in the community. You know what I mean? Noah Jink 75. Q&A, how do you think Samantha Morton is doing as Alpha? Absolutely great. She's killing it. She's knocking it out of the park. She is portraying Alpha in a way that does her character justice, up to this point at least. A lot of people don't like her accent, but looking at the sneak peeks of her and Daryl talking, I'm really amazed. Yeah, I wasn't too sure about the accent, but it works. It's unique for the TV show. It makes her interesting and unique and nemesis in a way. Maybe more than the comic book because of her strong Southern accent, but also maybe if her accent was just normal, then she wouldn't be, like I said, as unique as she is in the TV show. So I wasn't too sure about it, but I absolutely love the accent and how she's playing the actor or the character. And who maybe they should have cast Carl 80s style as a midget adult actor. Different strokes, style. I'm laughed my ass off. LOL. That could have been a good opportunity for them to do that. No, I think 75. Daryl versus Alpha. Whoever loses needs to take a shower because they both stink to high heavens. That's a great point. Alpha has met her match. When we're looking at how stinky they might be. But when I saw... Here's the thing. With Alpha... This is what I want to say. In the comics, Negan's introduction is epic. It's very... Not only important, but it's... What's the word I'm looking for? It's iconic, right? In the comics... Alpha's introduction wasn't like that. She didn't have this speech. She didn't have this iconic introduction or entrance. She did have one iconic scene with her introduction, but it wasn't as big as Negan's. Now in the TV show, they are doing it a little bit differently and making Alpha's introduction iconic as well. And expanding it, extending it, fleshing it out. And to add to that, they're giving her this, not speech, but this kind of dialogue, which I think is absolutely great. My favorite thing Alpha has said so far, and it's not what she said in this episode, but based on the sneak peek, what she's going to say in the next episode. I absolutely love this dialogue. She says, and it's not just what she says, it's about how she says it. She says, you crossed into our land, there will be no conflict. You killed our people, there will be no conflict. And you can sense that she's getting annoyed the more she said, or the more she says that. And then she says, I'm done talking, bring me my daughter or there will be conflict. I thought that was epic. I mean, it's up there with, in terms of being iconic and great and interesting, as some of Negan's speeches and lines. Faith Cannon 7. Good point, but if someone from Alexandria meets one of them, they will be like, I never seen you before. That's true. That's a risk. But at the same time, like I said, the communities are so big, I think not everyone's going to know everyone else. Not only in their own community, but everyone else's communities. Maybe you guys, Anahu, maybe you guys are too young to remember. Different strokes. I love Alpha's accent, by the way. Yeah, I love her accent. Yeah, I probably am too young because I don't know what that is. Noah Jink 75. I like that they're making Alpha so evil and making us despise her for how she is. Abusing her daughter makes people hate her quite a bit, and just wait until the fair happens. Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. As evil and bad as Negan was, he was charismatic. And as much as we hated him, we wanted him to stick around. You know what I mean? Or we want him to stick around. We love to hate him. We want him to stay so we could hate him. Alpha, on the other hand, we want her to stay for a little bit, for us to see how messed up she is, and, you know, for it to be interesting, but then she has to go at some point. We can't have Alpha staying alive. We just can't have that. You know what I mean? And that's another big difference between Alpha and Negan. Anahume, oh boy, I love the way they styled Alpha. Fabulous. Yeah. Now the other thing, not just the TV show, but in general, that I don't want to say doesn't make sense, but it's something that they never explained, and it's kind of like odd. The Whispers are all dirty. They are savage. They have no clean clothes. They are dirty and everything. They live in tents in the woods, in the wild. They call themselves animals. But amongst all of that, Alpha has a nice shiny belt. You know what I mean? That's the Ouroboros belt. That was confusing, even in the comics, to me. And they never really explained it. Maybe she has a big connection to the belt, but maybe she has a big connection to the belt, like Negan has a big connection to Lucille. Now, I don't want him to do the exact same thing, make that happen, because then it's repetitive. But maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's a little subtle, or there's little subtle differences, but it could end up being something similar. But they never really explain why that's the case, why she has this shiny belt. Noah Jink 75. Samantha Morton said in an interview that one thing she found difficult about filming in Georgia is how hot it is, and I imagine it is hot. LOL. Yeah, anyone new that goes talks about how hot it is when filming. So I assume it's extremely hot in Georgia when they film, because almost every new person that comes in says that. Noah Jink 75. Samantha Morton and Ryan Hurst probably get the worst of the heat because their characters have to wear multiple layers of clothes. That's definitely true. Not just them, but the Whispers in general, because they have masks. But I'm stupid, because that's all walkers, because they're all actors, right? So you could say that about all actors, or all walker actors as well. Faith Cannon 7. Alpha did a little pelvic thrust at the Hilltop Gate. She was annoyed. LOL. Yeah, she was definitely annoyed. Noah Jink 75. Q&A, if Oceanside is going to be at the fair, will Alpha kill some of the Oceansiders? Absolutely. That was my original death predictions. They were on there. I didn't put them in my new one because I never thought, or I didn't think we would ever see them again. That's why they weren't there. Or I didn't think that we would see them this season. Noah Jinx 75. I think something everyone can agree on is hoping that Alpha doesn't overstay her welcome as a villain like Negan did. All Out War lasting 2 seasons, so let's hope the Whisper War isn't like that. Yeah, I think they learned their lessons. I think the Whisper War is going to be maybe half a season. No more than that. It might spill into the second half of the season, but it's not like it's going to be the continuation of the war. The war is going to end, and we'll see, you know, that story bleed into the next story. So we might see some whispers along the way in the second half, but they're not going to be the focus. Like, Alpha and Beta will both have been neutralized or killed by that point. Faith Cannon 7. In IMDb, not reliable. Don't look at IMDb. That's the first thing I'm going to say before even continuing reading. IMDb is not reliable. I just dropped a whole lot of crap on the ground. Just going to put it back. In IMDb, in episode 14 and 15, there are 2 Whispers actors. They can be with Alpha at the fair. They could be, but again, IMDb is not reliable. Not really. At least when it comes to episodes that are in the future. Episodes that have already aired, IMDb is very reliable in that case. Alright, I should be ending this. I wanted to end this again like 10 minutes ago, but I didn't. I'll go for 3 more questions and that'll be it. Noah Jinx 75. Q&A, do you think Judith will vouch for Negan to be released? Not right now. Maybe after Negan is in the cell and they have conversations again, but not at this point. Anahum, I think they killed Alpha off too quickly in the comics. I love her character. I don't think so. I think they killed her off just in time. I don't agree with that. But I love her character, absolutely. Noah Jinx 75. At Anahum, a lot of people are divided on Alpha's death, and to be honest, I don't know what I think of her death. I think they should do Alpha's death in the comics the same exact way in the TV show. In terms of how it happens and who does it. The circumstances could be a little different, but how it happened or what kills her and who kills her, they should keep that the same. Because it's very important, I think. Noah Jinx 75. I can't wait to see Alpha and the Whisperers going to the fair, dressing as normal people. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see for sure. Faith Cannon 7. Heard Alpha will have a dress. Samantha Morton can wear a dress. The thing is, she's bald. And she's dirty. So she's going to have to clean up a little bit before she does that. Anahum, at NomaJig75, what was off about her death was because Negan didn't know about the Pikes when he killed her. Didn't make sense why he did it. Negan didn't do it because of that in the comics. Negan did it because of what Alpha allowed at her community, which was rape. And Negan was very much against it in the comics and the TV show. That was what did it for Negan. It wasn't that Alpha was savage and that she killed lots and lots of people. That wasn't the case. She did it because of the moral aspect of what the Whisperers do. Anahum, at Faith Cannon 7, dress over jeans, very up to the minute. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether Alpha will be at the fair and how she's going to be dressed. I would like to see that, definitely. Anahum, Alpha fashionista. Yeah, absolutely. She's not really that cute right now, the way we see her. Because she's dirty and, you know, she looks like a psychopath. But yeah, I'm sure they're going to change her when she's at the fair, or if she's at the fair, to blend in. That's basically it for this Q&A live stream. Thanks everyone for joining, asking questions, and supporting the channel. We will have another live Q&A Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Mountain Time before the episode airs Sunday night. Next few days, I might have some more videos coming up. I don't know, but if I do, it'll be probably tomorrow or Sunday, early Sunday. But that's basically it. Let me see if I'm missing anything here. Anahum Negan is a rape hypocrite, forcing Cherry to be his wife. That's a fair what is the word? Criticism. That's a fair criticism. Faith Canon 7, she'll be like, I am Alfina. Yeah, she could say that. But yeah, that's it, everyone. Thank you for supporting the channel. I'll see you guys very soon.